You've been waiting a long time.
Hey, Natasha, it is literally 1 minute before. Everybody, I think we have this. I mean, it's the numbers just keep going up. I'm so excited to hear Natasha today. I hope you have your pen and paper ready because if y'all never listened to her stuff, you should go try to find more of her things. We have to narrow her down to one topic today. That should be fun because she has so much information. Definitely a great person to learn from. But Natasha, I am going to now mute out and let you take it over.
Awesome. Are we recording? Sweet, we're recording. I always check that because I am the worst and I always forget. So for those of you who I have not had the opportunity and pleasure of meeting, my name is Natasha Robertson. I have been with Lavelle. It'll be 6 years, August 15th. That was the day I placed my first ever order. I made it easy for myself. I remember that date because it's my oldest son's birthday. So it's like, I have to like double things up. My anniversary is the same day as my mom's birthday. Like if you get a theme here, I forget dates very, very well. So I try to double things up. No, that was just a fluke. It just happened to be that day where I read the story that related to me that made me go, what if this product could do that for me? So it'll be 6 years in August. And I don't know about you, but being a nutritionist and a personal trainer, there's been many products that have come across my way that I took for like 20 days. I didn't even finish out the 30-day supply, right? Oh, that really didn't do much. I had so many of those things. This is the first product I did a full 30 days and I said, whoa, these results are insane. But I just finished the first ever time of completing a 30-day supply of something. And that was my career. Like I'm in nutrition. And so I was blown away and obviously still to this day blown away. And so I am honored to be here and chatting with you guys today about organization. And we're going to slip in. So Susan said one topic, but I'm going to bring in another one because I think many of you might want to know how to work this with kids home. And so I'm going to kind of talk about that too. You need that necklace. Which one? It's two of them. One's from Chas when we hit the millionaire. And then the other one is 3 Stone. But they look beautiful together, right? Awesome. Okay. So first I want to talk about, because this is the quick one, working with kids. How many of you guys, oh, Susan, we made it over 100. We're good. Yay! Sorry, guys. we just had some things. So how many of you guys right now have kids at home? Whether they're littles or older, can you type in the chat what ages your kids are while you're home? And some of you might be working a job and having kids home, right? So just tell me your kids and the ages of your kids, because to kind of, we got lots of mamas and dads. I think there's a couple guys that commented. So yeah, so when I started with Lavelle, Jacoby was 2, like on the day, and Jax was 3 months old. So I started this business with very, 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 very little babies that needed all the attention. And now they are 6 and almost 8. And so things have gotten a lot easier. So I can give personal perspective and a guidance on from the littles to where I am today with kindergarten and 2nd grade, right? So as far as the older ones, I hear it gets a little bit crazier at that age. They like mouth back a lot more. So I don't have any guidance yet for that, but I can give you some guidance here. So the biggest thing when it comes to kids is having structure. There's a reason they do so well in school. There's a reason they do so well at daycare or all those places, because there is structure. And so when I talk to my friend who is a daycare provider, they do preschool and all that, I said, I need all the understanding because I'm working from home with my kids every summer, right? So when they weren't in school, they would be home with me and I work from home, and they're like, oh, you just have to have structure. And I'm like, it cannot be that simple. But yes, people, it is absolutely that simple. And what your structure is might be different than mine, or what might be different if your kids are older and things like that. But structure has what continued to allow me to focus on business and then focus on them. There is not a ton of moments in where I am like blending things. And so I'm going to kind of talk to you guys about that. So in the chat, I'd love for you guys to just say, you know, what is your biggest obstacle you have with working from home with your kids? Like, what is that biggest obstacle? They always interrupt me. They don't respect my time, whatever that might be. I'm trying to do a call and they're like needing something, right? What are those things? So keeping them busy. So there is a book that I gotta remember, I just lost the book name, but it's like to keep your kids busy. Oh my God, so many activities. I will definitely do that. I will definitely post that in our thing. Staying on track, staying on time management. Okay, yes, it's a really good book. I use it all the time. You always on your phone, Mom. Okay, guilty. Yep, son's constantly interrupting me. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So my next question, and this was a game changer as my kids got a little bit older and could actually talk. In the beginning with kids working full time, I was a business owner and then Thrive, right? We went to 200K in 3.5 months and I had a 3-month-old and a 2-year-old. And I had 3 businesses and a husband somewhere and a dog somewhere. And it can be done, you guys. It's a choice. But in the beginning, I woke up earlier and I went to bed later. I lost sleep, right? So there's some sacrifices you have to make depending on what's needed in your schedule to make a change for the better. I chose to sacrifice sleep because I had a lot of lives to change, including my family's lives, right? And so that why was so big and so emotional that sleep wasn't a top priority. Changing the trajectory of my life with my family was the big focus. So the sacrifice was sleep. And the sacrifice was no interrupted scrolling. There was no time for scrolling. There was no time for wasted time. I continue to have very, very strict moments where all I would do is message and call, right? If I wasn't talking to somebody, I was talking to somebody in Messenger. I didn't have time to post. I posted once a day and boom, and I'd let that thing ride. I'd go check the comments, I'd respond, but all those responses went into Messenger or on the phone. And so when people say, I don't have time, you don't have to have a ton of time. You have to have focus time. So when your kids are little and you're working outside the home, you got to have that focus time. And that focus time to me in the beginning looked like 10 minutes, looked like 15 minutes, looked like 5 minutes. It wasn't like now where I can sit down for 90 minutes and solely focus on a task. So know where you are in your journey. Somebody telling you you must have 2 hours to sit down and run your business is in a different stage of their journey than you. So my biggest tip to you is find a leader in your lineage, in your leadership first. If there is no one there, find a leader on one of these or somebody you look up to that is in the same stage as you, meaning they're working outside the home, they have 3 kids at home like you, and they only have the same amount of empty space as you. And guess what? You can learn so much from that person and excel so much faster than beating yourself up trying to figure out, how do I do what Susan does? Well, Susan's in a different stage in this journey than you are. So find some comparison where you can go, I need to know how you did it. I need to know what you're doing and mimic exactly what they're doing. If your work time is the same as them from 8 to 3, and then you have the same amount of age kids, right? In a sense of like your kids are all pretty close to the same age within 2-3 years. You can literally mimic what her schedule or his schedule looks like to create the success you want. Don't go mimic my schedule because I'm in a different stage than you, right? So that's the biggest thing I want you guys to take from this is you can do this with kids. You can excel with kids because when you have kids, you have a pretty significant why of why you want to be home more with them, why you want the financial success, the time success because of those kids. But you got to find somebody that you can follow their lead that relates to where you are, where you want to go. Okay, so awesome. Yes, Lisa, if you want it bad enough, you figure it out. I honestly had to reflect so much back into that moment of when I built this business and with all the things going on, because I just figured it out. I just did it. I don't know how I did it. It took me a long time to go back. I had to ask a lot of people in my life, what the heck did that stage of this business look like, to get a good clarity on what it was. And I just figured out a way to do it. I sacrificed dinner. Right? My kids were little. So if you have littles and you're like, okay, I want to make a run for this. I'm going to go all in for 90 days. I'm going to change my family's future. Then guess what? My littles have no clue for probably 6 months. I didn't spend time with them at the dinner table. Dinner was dad and the boys, and mom was outside. Mom was outside on calls. Mom was outside messaging people. Mom was talking and talking and talking and talking and talking to build this business. That is what sacrifice I made. And I can tell you right now, you can ask Jacoby right now, and you can ask him, he's almost 8, and he would be like, I don't know what you're talking about. She's always at dinner, because what they remember is what I do now. I never miss dinner, right? So it's a sacrifices in a short period of time that lead you to what you want, okay? So if you have kids, find that person to just literally mimic their schedule, but you have to put in the work. You have to do the work. You can't say, my schedule says for the next 30 minutes, I'm going to reach out to my friends and just look at it. You actually got to reach out to them. You got to have conversation, right? So it takes action. All right. So that is what I have for working with kids. You can do it. I've done it. Hundreds of people probably right on here have done it. I don't know what your goals are. I don't know what your situation is, but I know there's somebody that has a very similar situation that overcome and created success just like you desire. Ask them. Don't be afraid to get in Messenger. If you have littles and you're like, oh my gosh, I wonder what her schedule looked like, and you don't message me, that's craziness. You need to message the person that you can relate to so they can guide you. Don't take up a ton of their time. Just ask and then mimic it, put it into action. The biggest thing I did when my kids got older was I included them in a vision board. So if I tilt this up, like that's their vision board, that's what they want. And so they understand work. It takes work to get the things we want in life, the fun things. So they are part of our vision board. Now, do I have my own personal one I stare at right here? Absolutely every day. But I have that one because they come in every day to get their Thrive K and they go, when are we going to do that? When do we get to do that, Mom? And I said, well, Mom's got to do a couple calls today and then we get to go do that. Or like we have the pool on there. Now we have a pool, but when it's still on there because they want time in the pool, right? And so I'll say, well, we get to go in the pool when Mama gets done with this training, right? So it's still there as a visual of things they want to do on a daily basis. They know that this has to happen first. So make them part of that vision board and make it fun for them when you hit goals that they're part of it. They're part of it. When Mama hits this goal, when I go 40K, we're going to go here. And when you hit 40K, you better go there with them and make them part of it and have that fun with them, okay? It's just, it means the world when you can bring them all in. Yes, they're not doing the calls. Yes, your husband's not doing the calls. But guess what? They are respecting that boundary. They're understanding that boundary. They're helping around the house and things like that. So I got more on that, but let's go into organization because I think many of you, this is an obstacle you have, and for some reason you haven't overcome it, and there's a block. How many of you guys have a organizational block? A block of overwhelm when you think of that word? I get it. Organization is my middle name, but organization also overwhelms the crap out of me. So I have to keep things very, very simple. Simple, stupid. Simple so I can do it and I stay committed to it. For me, it looks a little different. So I want to share with you guys how I stay organized and know that this has been a journey, right? Lisa, the worst. I love it. And here's the thing. Don't turn into somebody you're not. Because if I'm successful and I use paper calendar, but you will not commit to a paper calendar, don't do a paper calendar. You got to do you, but you got to do you. So I want to know how many of you guys have a calendar, whether that's digital or that's paper. I don't care. Just drop, yep, got one or got one. I would love to know how many of you guys have a calendar. Paper, got it. Yep. You actually have 3. Yep. When you have kids, and now that your kids have a calendar and you have a calendar, things changed for me. So don't get so stuck on one way, because it may become less efficient and more stressful than switching it and making it. So I was always a paper calendar, always wrote it all down. Then my kids started having more things on their calendar than I had. And I'm like, crap, now I have 2 calendars I have to follow. This is too much. And then I had my husband starting to put some stuff in the calendar. I'm like, whoa. He's like, well, didn't you look at my calendar? I'm like, hell no, I didn't look at, I got 2 already over here. I can't look at yours. And then if you have a social media calendar, and then you have this calendar and all these other calendars, it's pretty freaking overwhelming. So I want you to do you. You got to do you. If paper doesn't work for you, do digital. If digital doesn't work for you, do sticky notes. Do just a journal. It doesn't matter. But I can tell you, and I heard this a long time ago and I didn't believe it. Like, I was like, oh yeah, that's just something they say. But you've probably heard Paul Gravett say it. You've heard other leaders say it. Show me your calendar and I'll show you your future. Jim Rohn says it. Brian Tracy said it. I've heard John Maxwell say it in different things that I've listened to of theirs. Show me your calendar and I'll show you your future. Don't define calendar so strictly as a calendar. Whatever works for you to have organization of knowing what needs to happen and when, that's your calendar. That's your plan. But you got to have a plan. So how many of you guys use your calendar? Like, you use it. It is like life. It is to me. My calendar is my life. Anytime somebody asks me something, the kids ask me something, Jeremy asks me about something, I say, hold on, let me look at the calendar. Because they know I can tell them yes or no fast if we can do something or if we can add something. Every single day, I'm in my calendar. Why? Because I want success. I have reasons to have success. You have reasons to have success. You have a why of why you wake up and do this business. You have a dream. You have a goal. But without a plan, when's that goal going to come to fruition? When are you going to achieve that goal? You have no clue. So, you tell me you want to be 40K. Awesome. Show me your calendar and I'll tell you when you're going to hit 40K. It really, truly does look like that, because if you're putting the time in for yourself to personally grow your business, and then you have team support and you grow your business and team support, and you're showing up and connected, you're here, you're there, you're on these calls, you're learning, you're growing, you're putting into action, I can say your commitment level is here. You're going to hit 40K pretty fast. Now, are there other variables in there? Yes, we can't give an exact date, but I can tell you how close you are to achieving that by looking at your plan. So when the plan is there, it's there. And you got to follow it, right? You can put stuff in your Google Calendar. I use Google Calendar all the time. And the cool thing is I can actually do reoccurring. But the bad thing is when you do reoccurring, it's not really your thought out plan. I challenge you to not, if there's going to be a call every Tuesday at 9 and every Thursday at 9, like there has been since I've been in this business, if you just do reoccurring, how many of you actually show up to those calls because you didn't physically put it in that week? I want you to just think about that. For me, I wasn't showing up to those calls there for a while because I just had it reoccurring and it wasn't part of my actual action plan on Sunday to put it in my calendar. It was automatically there. So don't do reoccurring. because I've read some research on it too, that just becomes just always there, and you don't actually put a ton of priority on it because it's already in there. You want to be able to put that in every single time because that gives your commitment level a lot higher. Just a little trick there, because I was like, why am I not showing up to these calls? I know they're happening, because it wasn't part of my actual commitment of action, putting it in my calendar every week. The other thing is if you are doing a ton of calls and you have all these three-way calls and you have all these things happening, does anyone on here ever get overwhelmed by seeing too much on a given day? Like too much. Like you put your tasks in there, you put your follow-up, you put your calls, you put all your things. I'm going to raise my hand really, really high, because if there's too much on my calendar that I'm looking at, I'm probably going to go paralyzed and not do anything. Just not. It is something that happens to me every day. So what I had to do is I had to figure out, how do I split up calendar items and task items? So if you have those feelings of there's just too much on my calendar, you may need two things. I do. So I have my calendar that tells me from 1 to 1:30, I'm on here with you guys. But I have a task. I use Google Tasks. I do everything on my phone because I'm either at my house or I'm at the lake house or I'm traveling, soccer field, baseball field. I'm just kind of everywhere, and paper just doesn't work for me in this time of my life. So everything is digital for me. So I use Google Tasks. And so I will put a task in there and I'll put a date on it. Guess what? The dates are then organized like a calendar, but it's not on my calendar. So I can like literally check those off as I do them. So over in my task, I know from calendar, I'm talking to y'all. In my task, I can write all the notes and all the details I want right over there at any given time. Or you can do it paper, right? So I wrote them down on paper before this, so it was like locked in my brain before I started chatting with you guys. So I use calendar to keep me organized on what I need to do when, but the details of what I need to do is over in my Google Tasks. And that allows me just to have clarity and not feel overwhelmed. So when I have to follow up with somebody, I can go to Google Tasks, I can say follow up with Sarah, and I put the date in there. And then it organizes it. So I don't have to physically like figure out what date. I'll say on Monday. So today I had to follow up with Sarah because on Friday, she told me, hey, message me on Monday, I'm ready to order. I can put that in Google Tasks. When I open that up for today, I know what tasks I have to do and what order I need to do them. And it's not messing up my calendar. It's not flooding my calendar and feeling overwhelmed over there. Now, if you're paper, you like paper, then same thing can happen. You write all the things in your calendar you need to do, like from 2 to 3 today is my follow-up. From 2 to 3 is follow-up. Now, I don't have details of who I'm following up over there because I've followed up with like 33 people. I don't have room in a little calendar space to write 33 people's names in there. But over in Google Task, I can write down their names and I can easily go through and I can put notes in there and I can search in there. It's just me. But if you're paper, you'll do it on your paper calendar, and then maybe you have a list. Maybe you do like Beth Graves shared her brilliance on the sticky note challenge, right? You just look at the sticky notes and you go, these are the people I'm following up with today. These are the people I'm following up with today. Maybe you have a list of your auto ship people, right? I don't know what lists you have. I hope you have all of those. But you can have those individuals' names over there versus on your calendar. Yes, you can talk to your Google Calendar. I tell Suri all the time. I'm like, add this to my Google Calendar. She's like, okay. So I use that. But then, let's talk a little bit. So that's how I do my business. That's how I do my follow-up. That's how I schedule. That's how I stay organized. I use very, very simple things. I use Google Calendar. I have a Google Calendar for Natasha. I have a Google Calendar for family. And so all the family stuff is in a certain color, and it also is where Jeremy can put his stuff. So Jeremy doesn't have my stuff on his calendar. He just has family on his calendar. So you can start blending your family stuff on Google Calendar. I have Lavelle. I have Lavelle events as a calendar. So all the Lavelle events that I have scheduled, which COVID, hopefully soon we can start doing them. Those are in a different color, but on a different calendar. So if I just wanted to look, am I on target for Lavelle events of my goal? I can just click on that calendar and just see that and go, I'm 2 events short this month. All right, where am I going to put them? Versus seeing all the things on my calendar. So that's why I do separate calendars with Google. But I keep it very simple. I only have 4 calendars total, and one's mine, one's the family, one's events, and then the other one is fun. I have a fun calendar because I have a goal to make sure fun is in my calendar for a given month. And so we have fun things on our calendars. You should too. The other app I use, like I said, is Google Tasks. So I have Google Calendar and have Google Tasks. And the third app I use for organization is the simple one that's Notes. It's just the Notes one. That's it. Because the reason I do Notes, this is what keeps me super organized. So say you have a new customer, right? And you say the same thing to a new customer, whether it's well, Susan, you do tons of scripts, so I can just share something of yours. So you have your auto ship customers, and you pretty much say the same thing to every single one. You change up one little line of maybe what's happening or what you're offering them or what you're excited to share with them. So I can go into my notes section, and you just like you pull down a little bit. You just like pull down, and there's a search bar that shows up. The search bar is hidden until you pull it down a little. And then you can just search in there, customer. When I search customer, I have a new customer. I have Flex Friday posts for my customers, right? I have, here's a customer giveaway. Here is, I wanted to tell you about our new product for a customer. I have all of those things in my notes. So at any given time, when they launch, like what they did over the weekend, I don't have to come up with all the words again. I just have to change some of it. Saves so much time in its organization that doesn't have to be organized because there's a search bar. You just got to make sure in the title or somewhere that you have customer. So when you search customer, it's there. New promoters. You want to explain in copy, in written form, how to get VIPs. So I have VIP bonus. I search VIP bonus, boom, it pops up. I never have to go into a group. I never have to go and ask somebody. I can see right there all the language I say for VIP promoters, what it takes, how to do it. All right, here's task 1, 2, 3. Keep it simple. I have in every single, if I just search in my notes, pure. It comes up what pure is. Guess what I did there, you guys? I simply went over to our website and copy and pasted the pure description. I didn't create it. I just copy and pasted it over into my notes. So if somebody asks me, what does pure do? I can, 1, send them over to the website, or 2, send them exactly what the website says from my notes section. So either works, you guys. That's the only 3 apps I use for organization when it comes to business and having things on hand that's pretty fast. So hopefully that helps you guys versus trying to find everything. And if I have to find, you probably are a lot like me. If I have to look too long or too far or too hard for something, I just move to the next thing. I'm just like done. I'm like over it. I don't need to know that bad. And Google, for some reason, doesn't give us scripts. So Google's fast, but it doesn't give us the things that we're really, really, really looking for. So to keep things simple and simple, stupid, simple so you do it, simple so it's duplicatable, it's a calendar, it's a task app or a task sheet, and it's the notes section of your phone. That's how I stay organized. That's how I know all the things and how I can pull things fast. The other place I do organization is in my photo album. So on your phone, I have different albums. I have all the PDFs. So Lavelle products, I have all the PDFs in my albums right here. So if I just wanted to send them a picture, I have an album of just Thrive Skin. I have an album of just our 12-week challenge, our Thrive challenge. I have those pictures in an album. So I can quickly put it over and share those things. I have Lavelle badges as an album. So anything you use and you feel like you waste time trying to find them, have an album on your phone that you can simply just pop those right up super fast and share those. Because at the end of the day, we don't get to control if Facebook deletes your account, shuts down for a day. I know many people, their accounts are just getting wiped. And so if you only rely on Facebook photos to have those, you're going to feel a lot of anxiety, a lot of it. Because I just had to work with a couple people in Lavelle that had that happen. Like, how do I get this stuff back? I'm like, you don't. But here's our new way to never lose it and never have this issue again. So anything in your phone albums that you want, before and after pictures, women before and after pictures, men before and after pictures, right? I have 2 separate ones, so I don't have to scroll through to find a guy one that somebody can relate to. The other thing that I do is different graphics of, so like I have holiday graphics for Lavelle. You know how y'all get really creative? I'm not the greatest at creativity when it comes to this. So if y'all do a Halloween graphic with Thrive products, you better believe I saved that sucker and I threw it over into a folder in my photo albums so I can use it next year at Halloween, next year at Valentine's Day. If a leader does a super cool post, I screenshot that and I say future posts as an album. Future posts. I don't create all my stuff. I find things that like, woo, that's awesome. And then I change the wording when I go to type it myself to be more me, authentically me, versus a word that I might not use. So I have an album for that. It just saves me so much time, you guys. And that's what I'm here to share with you guys. Do one thing, check it off, right? I'm like, what is the biggest obstacle you have? Is it working with your kids and you have no structure? They don't understand why you work so much. There's no vision board. What is the biggest obstacle you have with your kids being home? And what's your biggest obstacle as far as organization? And only work on those one things, right? In both categories, one thing. Because if you went and tried to do notes and photo albums and this and that and the other, that's overwhelming. It's too overwhelming. So have the notes of what we talked about today, but choose 1 or 2 things and complete those. Get those into your habits and then add the 3rd and then add the 4th. I didn't have Google Tasks until I was like, this is too much. Like, I can't do paper anymore with all my things. I need to have this on my phone. Google Tasks came into my life about 4 months ago. It's not like I've done that forever, but it has saved me so much time and so much frustration. But I've always focused on a calendar. And then where my obstacle comes, I find a better solution. I ask people what's working for them and people who I can relate to. Like, we work the same. We have the same type of personality. I'll ask them. I won't ask somebody who is so disorganized, like how to be organized. Like, I'm not going to get the right answer. I need to ask somebody who is very similar to who I am. And I ask the question. I want to understand it faster than failing a million times, right? How many of you guys are like sick and tired of trying to accomplish one task and you fail because you're too proud or you ego's in the way to ask somebody, how did you do it? That's faster. I would rather ask the question and get there tomorrow than not ask the question and 3 months from now I'm still frustrated with the same problem and obstacle. So ask the questions to the people that can give you. So with that, Susan, I am 3 minutes over. I feel like I was a fire hose, but I hope it was good. I want to stick to that 30 minutes, and you guys don't hesitate to ask me questions. I am an open book, and people are like, you never told me that. I said, you never asked me.
Hey, let's check that chat real quick before you jump off. Can you see it?
No, not right now. I can't watch you. I'm right here. Wants to go outside in the cornfield. Okay.
Let's look at the chat real quick and see if we see anything that needs to be addressed.
Yes. Let's see. Those are all things. Yeah, sometimes waking up earlier doesn't work because they wake you up. I mean, there's days that I have that happen, trust me. But I find ways to make sure I need this amount of time, and I find a way to put it in there, whether it's a longer potty break so you can have focused time on your notes, sending messages. For some reason, my kids, maybe it's because I have boys and I'm a girl, they don't bother me in the toilet room. So I just kind of sit in there and I'm not even doing anything but messaging people. They leave me alone. So you find ways that work. I mean, you can be doing stuff too. I mean, why not? Multitask. It works. Looking here. Nap time, yes. Nap time is golden. The other thing I will say, Maria Dillard was the big influencer for me on this, is I didn't feel, I had this weird feeling about having a house cleaner. Like, I'm like super mom, I'm like superwoman, I can do it all. And she's like, if it doesn't require your heart, like, and it's not going to lead you to where you want to go, outsource it. So when my kids were little and the house was constantly a mess and it affected my mental stability of I can't focus and work in this mess, I had a house cleaner that came every week. But as they're older, I have taught them how to clean. My house is pretty much clean 24/7. And I have a 6 and 8-year-old boy. But I don't have a house cleaner now because in this time we can do it ourselves and it doesn't take away from me building my business. So know that in this time period, it may be something that you need to outsource. We outsource our yard, our lawn, because neither one of us, my husband or I, enjoy it. It's like we fight about it. So why would we fight about it when we can just outsource it? It's $40 a week. I'll make an extra $40, right? I'll have 2 new customers, like whatever it takes, you have a goal and you figure it out. But Maria Dillard was a big influencer for me to do that because it really did affect how well I could work and focus. And once I gave in, I realized how stupid I was for resisting it for so long. But that it was just part of that time. So make it work, whatever that needs to be. Some people I outsource my groceries right now. I haven't went to a grocery store in 2.5 years. I do it on an app. Yes, does it cost me more? I don't care. It saves me 2 hours a week and frustration of the grocery store. Now with COVID, it's really not ever happening, just saying. So find those little things that can give you more time that you necessarily don't have to do. But if you had more time, you could cover that cost and more. That's how I started to figure that out. Yes, sit down as a family. It is huge. It is a big thing for us every single night. I don't care. We are sitting down as a family. If I have an event and I'm gone for dinner, Jeremy and the kids still sit at the dinner table. It's so critical for, the kids. There's so much research out there, being a nutritionist myself, that decreases child obesity and adult obesity is having that like focus time. It also increases their mental stability to be able to talk and have open communication and feel focused time with their parents. So if you don't do that now, I'm telling you, it's a game changer. It is such a game changer. Looking here. Anything you see, Susan?
Well, I was trying to read through them. It's hard for me to see all of them though.
And as far as calendars, do what works best for you. Like I said, I was always paper. And now I'm 100% digital. Not to say in 5 years from now, I'll go back to paper, but what works best for me in the moment and what works is what you do. If it's not working, change it. But if it's working, don't change it.
Hey, I want to, and I'm going to tell you something real quick on the house cleaning thing. I believe it was Maria who told me one time, she said, if you're cleaning a toilet, think how much money you could be making somewhere else. So find somebody else to do it. I was like, that is a very valid point. Hey, Chelsea, I'm looking at your question. It said, would you please share your scripts with us? There are so many, I wouldn't even know where to begin, but I'm going to tell you something. Most of my scripts come from Kayla Fox. And if you can look up her YouTube channel, Kayla Fox, she has a ton. There's a ton on your cloud office. I pretty much, I literally, any of my videos on my YouTube channel, Susan Kaufman, literally are probably replicas of hers or everybody else's. I mean, there's just so many. And then today I just came up with a new one. So, you know, who knows? No, we're trying to get people to thrive for free. I was like, oh, this one sounds good. But if you'll watch some of those, a lot of times we're talking about those scripts in there.
Yeah. And if you go into your 200Ks Facebook group, I'm sure there's a file that has scripts. I know we have it. I've seen one in Chastity's, you know, and I'm sure Susan has one. And those might be old, so take them and just make them you, update them, but they give you a foundation to start with. So awesome. I think that's it. I think I'm good. I think they're good.
The recording will be up shortly. We'll post it in the event. Please continue to invite friends to the event, your team members to the actual event that Natasha created. Because like Friday, Lisa went back in there and put all kinds of stuff in there that we honestly literally need to go copy and paste and put somewhere else so we don't lose it. But the videos will be posted in there, obviously on Team Thrive Nation, and each of these leaders will put it in their team pages as well. Hey guys, have a great afternoon. Thanks, Natasha. You were awesome.